Yes, ma'am. She'll bring you the microphone.
I have a question. Do you think that Obama and that that's...
Yes, I'm sorry.
Do you think Obama does have a plan, will be able to affect change when we have local school boards who are arguing over creationism and things like this? I mean, it's so frustrating.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think the answer is the carrot and the stick. The fact is we're in an economic crisis that does not give him a tremendous amount of latitude to use the largesse of the federal government to be able to be a bribe to those school districts who need, want, and would find it difficult with their constituencies to reject government funding. And that government funding, I would expect, would be tied to very stringent requirements of change that ultimately will cause us to confront the issues that I've discussed and those that I haven't even thought of yet. The fact is that the government has the ability, with the stroke of a pen and unfortunately the writing of a check, to be able to say to a school district, if you want our money, if you want computers that we will pay for, if you want upgraded textbooks, and the list goes on, these are the things that you must do. And that is the way, and I think the only way, that the Obama administration or any administration in Washington can affect this entrenched bureaucracy that is so committed to its own success at the expense of what I consider its job description to be, to find us in a position where we now can jump over that administrative control because parents will demand it. Parents will say, I don't want you to tell me we're not going to take that money. You do what they tell you have to do. That's the only hope I think we have. I think we have someone above, and I see. Yes, ma'am.
I personally can attest to virtually everything that you've said. My daughter is an executive with Microsoft. Therefore, there are probably half a dozen or more computers that are all set up in the house, and more that could be set up. And her children, from the time that they could sit and do anything, and you talked about manual dexterity, both parents happen to be right-handed, or left-handed. Therefore, the mouse was on the left side. My oldest grandson, who is now 16 and who's been doing this since he was about 2.5, is absolutely ambidextrous, and I can't tell you how amazed I was, because here he is with his left hand using the mouse and with his right hand also going up and down playing these games. So therefore, as I say, I can attest to this because I've watched what happens. And what have you found about when you teach a child early on to do something, it becomes something that's part of them, down in their soul. They know it. It is just an integral part of them. And you can build on that, but if you don't start it until they're 12, then it's not quite such an integral part, and the later you start it, the less it is. And I trust my grandson's judgment a great deal more than I would somebody who is very well educated. And I've got several degrees, and I trust them more than myself because they started out understanding stuff down here that I'm still learning.
Yeah. You know, there's a lesson, sort of the quintessential lesson of education is that if you look at feral children that are brought up by animals, which are rare but exist, if they are not found by the time they're 8 or 9, they will never be able to speak. They will never be able to be taught to speak if they spend the rest of their lives trying to learn it. And if we don't understand the implications of that message in an educational sense, then we are missing a tremendous opportunity to affect the lives of our children. Because the fact is, they learn in the womb. They learn as soon as they see light. They learn every single moment of their lives. And the only thing we can do is decide what they are exposed to, decide what they should be exposed to and what they are best at, and to nurture that process. And we can't nurture it in an institutionalized system that treats all children as if they were the same, and if they are not the same, they are welcome to be thrown away.